Ambassador Geraldine Byrne Nason has represented Ireland on the global stage with distinction, serving as Ireland's 19th ambassador to the United States since August 2022. Her diplomatic career has taken her to Brussels, New York, Paris, Vienna, and Helsinki, and she has been a steadfast advocate for global cooperation, gender equality, and economic development. Recognized for her contributions to public service and academia, she's a member of the Royal Irish Academy and holds an honorary doctorate of law from Maynooth University. Please join me in welcoming Ambassador Geraldine Byrne Nason to the stage.
Thank you very much indeed, Sarah. Good morning, everyone. Genevieve. I can't think of a better way to begin St. Patrick's Day than here at an Agri-Pulse Agri-Food Summit. So it's a real pleasure to be with you. Lo Éla Póra Conadíobh Galéir, that's Happy St. Patrick's Day in our own precious Irish language. And I'm deeply grateful, Gur Míle Maithagah, for all of you who wore the green today, which I take as a reflection of your friendship as we celebrate Ireland's national holiday. I'm really here in a week that's like no other. I've just had a week like no other with our Taoiseach visiting Washington. But of course, as we celebrate St. Patrick's, we're also reminded that the story of Irish and American agriculture is also entwined. We talk about our people-to-people relationship being entwined, but of course our prosperity, our security, and the way in which our economies grow are also deeply entwined. And as our own history in Ireland suggests, the story of agriculture here also, I think, is one of, in our relationship, one of resilience and adaptation. So, I think of it in terms of the small family farms in my own county, County Louth in Ireland, which is also the smallest county in Ireland, to the vast fields of Kansas here in the great United States. Both nations have built, in their own distinctive ways, agricultural sectors that are both deeply rooted in tradition, but constantly remaking themselves ready for next steps in terms of innovation. And certainly in Ireland, and I know from my experience here in the United States, agriculture has long been at the very heart of our society, as well as our economies and our prosperity. We have been shaping our rural communities, driving resourcefulness and fostering economic growth. And today I'm happy to report that the state of our union in agricultural relationships is stronger than ever. Bilateral trade in food and farm products that benefit farmers, ranchers and consumers at the highest level ever right across the Atlantic. So on both sides of the Atlantic, our industries and our peoples are enjoying record levels of success. As I said, it's been a big week here in Washington, D.C. I'm literally fresh from the Oval Office with the Taoiseach. And if you saw any of this covered by the media, you will see that the highlight of the day that we spend really in the presence of the President of the United States is what we call the Shamrock Ceremony, which usually happens in late afternoon. And the shamrock, the bowl of shamrock, which the Taoiseach himself presented to the President of the United States, was grown on a small family farm in Kerry, County Kerry, also known, in case we have any Irish people here, as the Kingdom of Kerry. Today and throughout the month of March, all around the country, we're coming together as Irish Americans. We count ourselves as 32 million Irish Americans, so you're slightly short on the numbers here this morning, but I'm grateful for those of you who identified as Irish. Indeed, I will, in parentheses, say to you on St. Patrick's Day, there are only two kinds of people in a room. It's those who are Irish and those who wish they were Irish. But throughout this month, we have had an opportunity to celebrate our heritage and the enduring bonds, the political bonds. The United States, first country in the world to represent Ireland, or to recognise Ireland as an independent state, the country which helped to bring peace to the island. So an enduring, deep bond of friendship, and an economic and thriving relationship. It's a time now, we find in March, where we shine a light on our shared history, culture, and our friendship. And just to set that in context for you, over the last week, 9 Irish government ministers, our cabinet has 15 ministers, so you can see 9 Irish government ministers have been here in the United States, leading official St. Patrick's Day programs across 15 to 20 states of the United States. They, in those programs, they've had a unique opportunity, of course, to talk to the economic actors, many of them representing agriculture in the states they have visited. We've also, of course, developed our political links throughout this month. And later today, I will be leaving to go to New York City, where this morning, or coming up to noon, over 150,000 people will march on Fifth Avenue, watched by 2.5 million people. I put that in relief to tell you that we are deeply grateful for the ongoing friendship and recognition of our special relationship with the United States. Of course, in addition to growing those people-to-people and cultural heritage ties, I wanted to just note that we have a significant and mutually beneficial economic relationship. In 2023, that economic relationship between Ireland and the United States was valued at $1 trillion. According to US government statistics, Ireland is now the 6th largest source of foreign direct investment into the United States. This morning, more than 200,000 Americans got up and went to jobs in all 50 states, funded by Irish investors. There are 770 Irish companies operating here in the United States. So for a country of 5 million, I think you can see the outsized nature of our two-way relationship here with the great United States. And food and agriculture plays a key role, of course, in this considerable investment, with stellar Irish companies like the Kerry Group operating with more than 40 manufacturing plants in the US, employing over 5,000 people, including in their regional technology and innovation centre in the Midwest. Or NUA, another company many of you will be familiar with, a significant investor here, particularly in Wisconsin. That's in direct employment terms, investment in processing plants, and the purchase of almost $250 million worth of dairy products each year. The US is Ireland's second largest market for agri-food exports. Just last year, bilateral agricultural food trade was valued at $2.7 billion for exports. That was a record high, sorry, I should say that's $2.7 billion for exports and imports from the United States, so a record high for us. And while Ireland exports products like butter and spirits well known into the United States, the imports into Ireland of animal feed and barrels from your own bourbon production highlights in many ways the circular nature of the interconnectedness of both our production and our trade. So an extremely integrated, mutually beneficial way in which we work together. Truth is, agriculture remains a pillar of both our economies, supporting rural communities and ensuring opportunities, and I will underline the importance of this, for our future generations and for future generations of farmers, ranchers, educators, producers, and the millions of Americans and Irish who call the countryside home. Your own new Secretary of State for Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, summed it up very well, I thought, as she said, America's rural towns have and always will be the beating heart of our nation. But I guess on a day like today, even as we shine a light on our success, we have to remember also that there are challenges to the farming community, both here in the United States and in Ireland, and we face, I would say, both significant and shared challenges. The average age of farmers in both our countries continues to rise, creating, in our case, certainly an urgent need for succession planning to ensure that family farms remain viable for future generations. Access to land, to farming land, is also a critical issue for young farmers in both our nations. who often struggle with high costs and limited availability. And responding to those challenges alongside what we've seen even in the last few days, severe weather events, higher input costs and potential barriers to trade, are all key challenges that we are seeing, I know, here in the United States, but also back on that beautiful green island of Ireland. As we look ahead, in our view, we need to invest in policies that support smooth farm transitions, that will empower our young farmers and ranchers, and of course, importantly, make land accessible to the next generation of producers. For our part, Ireland remains committed to the principles of free trade, which have underpinned our economic success. We believe that free trade brings economic opportunities, creates well-paid jobs, fosters innovation and builds economic resilience. And that's all done, as we see it, best with certainty and a degree of forward planning within the framework of a rules-based international trading system. And we will continue to work with our colleagues, certainly at the European level, and with the government here in the United States to advocate for fair and free trade for our agricultural communities. To borrow the words of President Ronald Reagan, whom I had in parentheses again, the honour to welcome to Ireland when he came in 1984. I am that old that I was already a young diplomat then, but I'd go back to his President Reagan's words, and I quote him: "The freer the flow of world trade, the stronger the tides for economic progress and peace among nations." So, ladies and gentlemen, the Irish food and drink industry continues to bring world-class products to American consumers, from premium dairy and grass-fed beef to some of the world's finest spirits and Irish cream liqueurs. Every year, over 1 million Americans visit Ireland, immersing themselves in our culture, our beautiful landscapes, maybe challenging their game on our spectacular golf courses. And of course, President Trump has a golf course, Doonbeg, so I'm making sure everybody knows the west coast of Ireland. County Clare is a must-stop see when you're in Ireland. And all of this helps to forge the long-lasting, lifelong links between Irish and American family and friends. I'm told that those who go to Ireland may occasionally also drop into the odd Irish pub and taste those fine Irish spirits and beer. And I would encourage you all, when you're in Ireland, those of you who travel, to enjoy the excellent, wholesome Irish pub cuisine, usually sourced from local ingredients and cooked locally. I know that some of you, and Sarah mentioned she'll be one of them, will be visiting Dublin in August for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. That's the famous Farmageddon, the rivalry between Iowa State. There we have one fan anyway, I don't know who yours is. Between Iowa State and Kansas State. And we very much look forward to welcoming as many of you as possible to that. And I really hope that when you come for the game, which of course will be wonderful, Dublin turns itself right into that game, that you'll take time to explore the beautiful countryside in Ireland and everything we have to offer also. So to all of you today, the farmers, the ranchers, food producers, policymakers, who help to make this relationship thrive. May we continue to grow together, work together, trade together, and build a future that honours the agricultural legacies of both our nations. In my own, again, precious Irish language, we have a saying that is Ní neart go cur le gaile. We're stronger together. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
So thank you so much for those great remarks, and we really appreciate you honoring us with your presence and your busy schedule. As you mentioned, I'm excited to go visit my Irish roots and attend that football game, and I just wanted to make sure that you had something so that you were well adorned with the winning colors.
Thank you so much.
Go Cyclones.
Go